All right, so we're going to pull into the trailer park for a quick halftime between segments. There were a ton of trailers that dropped recently. Some for movies that we've talked about in the past, some for movies we haven't talked about, and one for a Marvel thing that we're both kind of left being like, huh? So let's do the quick hitters of Supergirl and Masters of the Universe. We got new trailers for both that kind of go over more of the plot of these movies and less of the shock and awe of these movies. I kind of come out of both trailers a little nervous for different reasons. Masters of the Universe, I just feel like the same anxieties I had coming out of the first one continue, of how long are we going to be on Earth before we go to Eternia? Because it seems like it's more than 20 minutes, and that's too long.
That's going to be... Yeah, because this movie reeks of it should be an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, at most. This would be a great hour and a half, quick and in and out kind of thing, and I fear that this is going to be 2 hours, and the first 30 to 40 minutes are going to be on Earth, and it's not going to be satisfying. Yep. There's a moment at the end of the trailer where he gets the sword and transforms. You can clearly tell that this is his first magical Disney princess transformation scene. Yeah. And I just, I think that scene is going to happen at, the hour and 20 minute point in a 2 hour movie where there's going to be 15 minutes of credits at the end. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I don't know if you got this in the beginning of the trailer. So, HeMan, of course, looks very similar to Thor. Yeah. The music that was playing in the beginning of this trailer... It
had big Thor
Ragnarok.
I got Thor, the Dark Thor at times, but also Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. But it had that synth kind of rock.
Well, so this was my thing for both movies. They both look like they're chomping on Guardians of the Galaxy flavor.
Yes.
And that the Thor Ragnarok is because it's more mythology.
And Heimdall's in the movie.
Yeah, there's more connective tissue to a Thor than a Guardians of the Galaxy, whereas Supergirl is the opposite. It looks more like a Guardians movie than Thor, even though fundamentally they're kind of the same flavor in different capacities.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about Supergirl.
So my only thing with He-Man is just it looks like the action could be fun. Jared Leto doesn't look like he can ruin it because his face isn't here and his acting can only be so bad as a voice actor.
What's going to ruin it is if they allow him to go on the press tour.
Yeah.
Because that's what ruined it with fucking Tron Ares. He fucking was the most arrogant douchebag at all this stuff.
I mean, he shouldn't talk to the media, period. No. He shouldn't talk to anybody, period. That should be part of his method, is he just doesn't talk to people. I think that would be great for everybody involved. I just think that this isn't going to be stellar. I think that this is going to be kind of like Jurassic World 9, where you're just kind of and that happened. And you look through, a movie sale in 5 years and you're like, oh yeah, He-Man, I forgot that came out. Isn't there a new He-Man coming out next year? And I don't think anybody's going to really remember.
And I'll be honest, just by the visuals of this movie, I will probably still lean towards the 80s He-Man movie as my favorite, because this looks like it's just the CG throw up. Yeah. Like all these big movies are nowadays. And it's dude, I'm tired of that. I want to see something practical. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We're going to get to something practical later.
Oh, God.
On the other side of the coin is Supergirl. I was interested in this movie, and now I am a little less interested in this movie.
It's Taken, but with a dog.
That's what it is. When you make the dog the central thing that we're trying to save, that's going to be a hard sell for me.
I couldn't believe that when I saw this trailer.
That's such a hard sell for me. I don't know if I can do a scene where Krypto gets kidnapped, attacked, drugged, poisoned, and left for dead, and then the rest of the movie is about how we have to get this thing so we can save Krypto, when there's inevitably going to be a moment where we have to decide if we want to use the thing to save Krypto, or if we're going to use the thing to save her friend, or all these other things, and the entire time Krypto's life is going to be at the hanging edge of this, and it's I don't even love Krypto, but I love dogs. I don't know if I can watch this. Yeah. I just don't know if I can watch this, and on top of it, it is just Guardians of the Galaxy 5. Yeah. They just threw up Guardians of the Galaxy 5. I know there aren't 4 movies, but the holiday special was so bad that we have to include it. So this is just, it makes sense. It's James Gunn's clearly producing this, even though someone else is directing this. This is so flavored as James Gunn. Oh, yeah. That you'd have to fall on your head to not sense the flavor of James Gunn here.
But the part that I'm fighting with is, when did this happen?
I think that this is post-Superman.
But I don't know. Like, that's the part, because it is kind of
Because it's after she picks up Krypto at the end of Superman.
She picks him up, but he was dog sitting.
He was dog sitting for her, but not while the dog was dying.
No, but what I'm saying is, I couldn't gauge in the trailer because they have flashbacks.
Yeah.
When this happens. Is this before? Is this after? It's like, I want a little more clarity in that. Because if it is post, I can buy the dog thing. If it's pre, we know we fucking survived, so it's like...
Well, and it's just... I think it's going to be a hat on a hat on a hat on a hat on a hat, because you're going to have... Kara's mom, who she's going to be super close to, is going to die. Kara's mom was in the military. She might be someone who died during a war with Zod, or it might be something else, but she's going to die. So now we're at the funeral. That's when she meets Krypto, and then the world starts ending. So now she gets put in a pod and sent across the planet. So now she's had 2 massive traumatic deaths, and now she's going to be faced with a third. But also Jason Momoa's here, so don't get too worried. And the villain looks like that one orc from... fucking Two Towers, who always wants to gnaw on bones and has blue skin, and I'm just like, I don't fucking like that. What are we doing? I don't know. I had so much interest in this movie, and then it just kind of got pulled out from under me like a rug. I'm not interested in it, but I have a lot less faith that it's going to work, and the central premise of it is so that I don't know if I can even watch it.
Well, and when she gets sent off of Krypton, I'm like, was that David Krumholtz?
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Fucking from Numbers? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
From Oppenheimer, of big Oppenheimer fame of a few years ago.
He's been in a million different things.
No.
Like, if anyone sees him, it's like, oh, that guy.
That guy, yeah. I think he played Bernard the elf in Santa Claus.
He played Bernard. Yeah. He was also in Harold and Kumar movies and all that.
He shows up in places.
That just threw me off. Hated the tone of this entire thing. And the Jason Momoa, that was the thing that I was like, I love Jason Momoa in a lot of things.
I love Lobo.
And I love Lobo, but it's like, he seemed like he was playing Aquaman, but with more eye makeup.
I don't know that this is going to work.
I don't think it was.
I don't think this is going to work. And you have this other new girl that we don't know anything about. And I don't know. I just don't see enough tentpoles here to make me interested. No. If the villain was a villain that I recognized from anything, if Lobo felt more like Lobo and less like Jason Momoa playing Lobo. Yeah. Like, I just don't... you didn't give me any of the things. He didn't even say main man in it. Like, you didn't give me any of the Loboisms. What am I supposed to be excited about here?
And I think you nailed it. There is no definitive villain.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is your opportunity to have introduced Brainiac, introduce any other Superman character.
There's so many...
There's a million villains.
You could borrow someone from Green Lantern's past.
Yeah.
You know, you could have, someone with a red ring. And, suddenly you're doing, the Spectrum. And you're like, oh, there's red rings. You could have LaFreeze, who has the orange ring. And it's just could that be a thing where someone wants the orange ring of power and that's what's going to help Krypto get better or something? I don't know, but there's stuff you could do.
Yeah.
And you're not doing any of it.
I have no interest in this movie.
This was kind of a letdown. And then the stuff with Krypto really kind of crippled it. It just made me way less interested to find out of the moment where they're like, okay, Krypto has 3 days before he dies. It's just I don't know that I want to watch this. I was already on the edge with some stuff. But
that's the thing. It's I'm not even a dog person, but it's it's a lame MacGuffin.
It's a very lame MacGuffin. To
have a sick dog, it's dude, this is
just to do the whole
Supergirl.
Just to do the whole you have to go on a mission to find this one ingredient to save this one person, and that's going to be the entire movie, and all the conflicts are just going to be around that and the time limit that you have, and it's just I get it. It's been done to death. I don't know that this is great. And on top of it, there's so many moments where the dialogue is just so James Gunnian that I'm just I almost don't want to watch this movie.
And when I saw the trailer and realized that the dog was the MacGuffin, I said, in my brain, this is obviously a cash grab. They must have sold a ton of Krypto stuff with Superman. And they're like, It's just like Grogu. We're going to put him front and center.
Yeah.
And we're going to sell so many more
just like
crypto
Baby
things.
Groot. Just like, I mean, Disney, me and Kelly were just talking about this. Disney, one of the greatest sins Disney has committed in the last 20 years is the amount of garbage that they've made because they have come out with a cute little MacGuffin for every blockbuster tentpole movie that they have 3 of every year. So every one of their 3 tentpoles that comes out every year has a stupid, cute, merchandisable thing. And now there's a million pieces of garbage trash that are floating in the ocean because Disney decided that they're just going to keep fishing and throwing out new cute things for us to buy.
Here's the thing. Once a kid turns 6 and gets their first iPad, they don't give a fuck about toys. My kids have not played with... My daughter will play with Barbies every now and then. They don't give a shit about toys. It's fucking all electronics now.
That sounds like a... write that down. Let's do that as a Toy Story movie.
Oh, God.
I don't even care about toys anymore.
No, Toy Story 5 does not exist. Toy Story 4 does not exist. They ended at 3. Same as Indiana Jones.
You want to talk about getting cut off at the end?
Cut off at the end.
Did you watch the Cape Fear trailer?
I did, and it looks
kind
terrible.
of a nothing burger to me. You have
Javier
Bardem, and it's a nothing burger. And Patrick Wilson and Amy Adams, and theoretically this could be good, but it's also an Apple thing. And
it was done perfectly the first 2 times.
Yeah.
You had Robert Mitchum playing I can't remember, something Katie.
Yeah.
You had him playing the villain in the first one, then you had De Niro, a very underrated De Niro movie in the second one. Both those movies are great. You don't need to fucking do it a third time. I love Javier Bardem. He played the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest villain in the history of cinema in No Country for Old Men. But it's like, he doesn't fit in this. Like,
this felt like nothing.
No.
This felt like nothing. And, like, especially with Javier Bardem, that was kind of shocking and disappointing because, like, he doesn't even have, like, a physical presence that makes him interesting. Like, there's just kind of... They gave him contacts that make his eyes really dynamic, and then that's it.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of nothing. And it's an Apple movie, and it just kind of feels like nothing.
I guarantee I will never see this movie.
Yeah, I'm probably never going to talk about it ever again. Let's talk quickly about The Mummy.
Oh, Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
Yes. So this was one that I'm probably never going to watch this movie because it's too scary for me. This movie's
the
too
trailer is
scary. But just like, again, just on a psychological, emotional level, it's just too deeply upsetting a concept. So instead of a bunch of archaeologists finding Imhotep's tomb or a bunch of Brendan Fraser's creating bisexual terror with Rachel Weisz and finding Imhotep's tomb, now we have a girl who has been kidnapped and put in Imhotep's tomb, and she is different now.
Yeah, they assume she... Well, here's what I got from the trailer. They assume they found her alive.
Yeah.
But it's obvious that she did die, and she came back as the fucking mummy. And what I'm excited about with this and why I'm so jazzed about it, I have been craving for an actual horror movie with a mummy. And they just will not fucking make it. Yeah. The last time I saw something scary that had a mummy was, I believe it was Tales from the Dark Side, the one with Christian Slater.
Yeah, with Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, that was actually awesome, and that was scary. They haven't done a scary mummy thing ever since. And it's like, you know, the Brendan Fraser mummy movies, none of that's fucking scary.
It's not scary. It's supposed to be
Tom Cruise
fun.
one, not scary at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, this... fucking terrifying.
I don't know, that moment where they forgot to put in the audio and it's just Tom Cruise screaming quietly in a crashing plane, that must have been terrifying for someone in Hollywood. They must have woken up in a cold sweat that day to be like, oh my god, we released what?
That is true. Yeah, I could go on about that movie. But this, so this is by the guy, so if any of you have not heard of Lee Cronin, he did the Evil Dead remake, Evil Dead Rises, I believe it's called.
He's the reason Stranger Things Season 5 is the way that it is.
Oh,
in a weird way around, because Evil Dead Rises influenced the Duffers so heavily in their rewrites of Stranger Things Season 5.
I didn't know that.
Yes, the little girl from Evil Dead Rises, she gets recast as Holly in ST5, and I'm gonna talk about that on a different show. We don't have time today, but wow.
But I definitely will see this, and it will negatively affect my mental acuity.
Yes,
like,
you're not going to look at your daughter the same way.
I still have not gotten over Heredity.
God, talk about, like, I don't know where they find these children and the amount of makeup that they put on them. But between Hereditary and this, just like...
Dude.
the little girls that they find, you're just like, I've never seen a little girl that looks like this.
But like this looks fucking like this is gonna be. I can't wait. I can't fucking wait.
Well, you'll have to tell me all about it because I don't think I can.
I'm gonna
stomach
do it in middle of the night in a dark room.
Good.
Fucking pitch black.
Like some incense, if you know what I mean.
Oh my god! Take one of my gummies.
Yeah. So I just want this is just like a quick hit and drop kind of thing. I don't have anything to say about this besides this. We watched the trailer for The Breadwinner before we started. I am so tired of this dad doesn't know how to take care of children trope. It's so dumb, myopic, and demeaning to a not insubstantial portion of the population of men who actually can take care of children. But it reinforces this idea that real masculine men are incapable of taking care of children. Whereas I would go so far as to say that the greatest thing that shows how masculine you are is the care of others. And so being able to take care of children is essential to masculinity. So if you can't take care of children, then you can't be masculine because the essential nature of being masculine is to care for others, including children. And if you can't do that, then you just simply aren't masculine. That's all I'll say about this. I hate this trope. I hate this concept. I'm tired of this. And this doesn't look funny, interesting, engaging, or meaningful in any way. This, again, is something that no one will talk about ever again once it comes out. It's going to come out and no one's going to remember it. And you're going to see it for free on any number of Roku and Howdy and other streaming platforms. Tubi. Like, it's going to be everywhere for free because no one's going to care about this movie.
And I'm actually kind of shocked that it has a lot of SNL people in it, but it's not like I thought for
Colin
sure.
Jost is in this.
Colin Jost and the dude, one of the dudes from Please Don't Burn.
Oh yeah, and those kids, I don't. They're
Martin
like
Harley.
They're like Lonely Island for Gen Alpha, and I'm just like,
it's not the same.
I don't care about you guys.
But Will Forte's in it also, so it's got some. But it's not.
I don't know. I looked at this and I immediately was like, "Fuck all you guys." Yeah. Hey, listen, all you guys, fuck all you guys.
It's not going to make a dime.
I'm glad you guys made friends when Nate Bargatze went and hosted SNL, but fuck him. And honestly, at this point, I'm kind of at a fuck SNL kind of phase in my life, too.
Oh, it's terrible.
Not just is it terrible, it is acquiescing to some of the most horrible choices and not approaching them in a rational, meaningful, or responsible way.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of it. You have a responsibility to your viewers and to the people, and you're not doing it. And if you didn't want to do it, then you shouldn't have gotten in the pool because this was always the game.
Yeah.
This was always the game. You knew that, and you are now flaunting the rules of the game, and I don't appreciate it. So speaking of things that I may or may not appreciate, The Punisher is getting a one-shot.
It is a movie.
I'm curious about this, but as I told you when we were watching it, the biggest conflict I have, and as we're going to talk about shortly, the Punisher is still active in the MCU as we sit in our moment in history. We know he's going to be around in Spider-Man.
Yep.
But once again, Marvel's penchant for how they release trailers creates this weird cognitive dissonance where they heavily imply that Frank is mentally unwell, more so than usual, like seeing people unwell, and is retired and going to be pulled out of retirement.
See, now they kind of hinted on this a little bit in the season 1 of Daredevil, to where he's not really doing it, but he is.
Like when they introduce him in the original Daredevil, he is. Or are you talking about in Born Again?
Born Again.
Yeah, they talk about like him being around, and even in season 2, we're going to talk about it. He's still an active participant in everything going on. And when we see him in Spider-Man, he seems pretty active. So this seems to be his springboard back in. But my question is, when did he get out? I don't remember when he got out.
And like the title makes it seem like this is his last go around.
This feels like him leaving the world and then being pulled back in and then ultimately leaving again. And I'm just like, I don't understand any of that, because from where I sit, my understanding, I may have missed something, but my understanding is that Frank is around. He's a pretty popular subject on the show, and we know he's coming up in another movie, so I guess my question is just, where does this fit into everything? Because I'm a little confused. It looks fine. It looks fine enough. I, again, need more information on the villain. I need more information on what the fuck is going on with Frank, because it seems like they changed his psychology, which we know Marvel has a penchant for. See,
they
the Kingpin.
love changing everything.
They love going back and having a character that's previously been established and then fully changing
talk about Daredevil,
the characterization of that character in these weird, broad, sweeping ways that make no sense given the character that we have known for a while now. And I just kind of wonder if that's not what's going to happen to Frank. I don't remember his buddy dying. That was a veteran. I don't remember him being lost and alone and, surrounding himself with the memories of the Marines that he served with, many of whom actually killed his family. I should also remind everyone. So I don't know. I'm caught on this. I don't have enough information to give a definitive answer. And unfortunately, I come back to Marvel's grade right now is not great, so I have to temper my expectations. Is this going to be bad? I can't say it's going to be bad, but there's nothing that I see here that makes me think, yes, this is going to be great and fun, and we're all going to have a good time. This seems much more like, this could be good. This could be a fucking fiasco.
Yeah. And like we kind of mentioned, I brought up before the show that it's worrisome that this is lining up to be something that you would think they would want to release into theaters to make extra money, because it is horror R-rated, kind of anti-hero like Deadpool, who everyone loves the character. It's like, if they're not putting it out in the theaters for even a limited run to try to make some money off it, it makes you wonder about the quality. The only positive I will give it is I do appreciate John Bernthal. He seems like he really does love and care for the character. He wrote and produced part of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, hopefully that is a good sign that it's not going to be garbage.
And he doesn't seem to have, because I agree, that's the big thing for me, is having an actor who, even if they didn't know the character in the initial, which I don't think John Bernthal knew anything about the Punisher when he got the role.
No, he didn't.
Taking the time to learn the character, taking the time to meet the character where they are, and find out who they are, their pathos, all these other things. And then not to have them have to pull a Netflix with Geralt and Henry Cavill where they're like, oh, you're trying to keep us on book? Well, the entire thing is that we don't want to do that. So get out of here. I feel like John Bernthal has had a lot of better opportunities to steward the character in meaningful ways.
Well, he had a great interview where he's talking about when he got the job, he went to a comic book store and walked right up to the guy and said, listen, I'm looking for Punisher comics. I just got hired as the Punisher, and the guy pulled like 6 issues and gave them to him for free and told him not to fuck it up.
Yeah.
And it's like,
well, that's the thing.
But that's the love.
People forget that the Punisher is an A-lister.
Yeah. Oh, he's
People
huge.
forget that the Punisher, for a long time, outranked Tony Stark, Captain America, Thor, and even I would go so far as to say the Hulk in a lot of camps. There were people that were much more interested in the Punisher. It was the X-Men, it was Punisher, it was Spider-Man. These were the characters that people were interested in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and they had big pushes. That's why each of them had these big, long, tentpole franchises in theaters. And it's... people forget, Punisher is an A-lister. And so you got to get it right. And it's people have an expectation and knowledge of the character, and if you don't get it right, they're gonna call you out.
I have 2 superhero t-shirts in my closet. One is Superman and one is the Punisher.
Yeah.
And that one was after the Thomas Jane movie, which was really good. Thomas Jane movie was great. John Travolta aside.
With those movies, there's always one of those.
Yeah.
There's always something where it's like, well, if you don't think about this part, it's pretty good. You just have to kind of ignore that one part of it.
But then the sequel with not Ray Stevenson.
It is Ray Stevenson.
It is Ray Stevenson. He that was actually not bad. That was good. It wasn't, I think, to the level, but it was still good.
Yeah.
I didn't buy him as Frank Castle, but I love Bernthal and his
Barenthal's done a great job.
Oh, he's done
Castle.
a fantastic job.
The original Netflix Punisher is honestly one of my favorite series out of the Marvel ones. It goes Daredevil, Punisher, seasons 1 and 3 of Jessica Jones. Season 2 of Jessica Jones is such hot trash. And then Luke Cage. And then we don't talk about Iron Fist. The less said about Iron Fist, the better.
And, we were talking to our kids about this today. I think people forget how great, they don't talk about, they're talking about Daredevil, they're talking about Punisher, they don't talk about the other shows.
Yeah.
How great David Tennant's Purple Man was in that first season of Jessica Jones. Holy shit.
Forever changing.
Phenomenal.
Huge.
Phenomenal.
Huge.
And I wish, once again, they kill him off, and it's like, dude.
At least he got to reappear psychologically as a torture item. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but it's like...
And we didn't get to see some cool storylines. Like, My Beloved Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the cartoon. They do this great storyline where Purple Man gets in Tony Stark's ear. And he just goes about trying to make the world better. Because Purple Man is telling him to make the world better. So he's doing all these things to make the world better. And he turns it into a police state. And it's just like... So you could do cool things.
Oh, you can do absolute cool things.
So you could do cool things. You're just actively being like, but like, what if we only did this instead?
No.
It's like,
I'm so tired of that shit.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so jury's out on this one.
One of the best moments of Jessica Jones season 1 with Kilgrave is when he tells Patsy to put a bullet in her head. And so Jessica Jones puts it in her mouth and shuts her mouth and says, here, the bullet's in your head, right? Okay. Moving on.
That was awesome. That was amazing.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So that's it for trailers. Yeah. I'm going to turn on a light really quick because it's getting dark.
Yeah, I'm scared.
I'm scared of the mummy. Little girls are going to come and torture me.
Don't fucking say that. I need something licking my toes. I'm standing by a door.
We don't mind licking on toes. I don't know if I'm going to keep this in the show, but have you seen the clip of Elle Fanning talking about her deep love for Jack Black?
No.
She has a clip where she's being interviewed on one of those variety truth serum. They're hooked up to a lie detector. But she's being interviewed by Dakota Fanning. And Dakota Fanning just says, I know how you feel about this, but I'm still going to show you a picture of it. What do you think of when you see this? And she shows her sister, Elle Fanning, a picture of Jack Black. And Elle Fanning breaks down laughing. And she just looks at her sister and she says, oh, liquid sex.
Really?
He could do anything he wanted. And every time I sing a Tenacious D lyric, all I can think of is Elle Fanning now. We don't mind sucking on toes. Good luck finding a boyfriend who sucks toes.
That's amazing.
Anyway, that notwithstanding, that's not part of my watch, play, read, but it is funny.